Well, it's Inside the NBA, presented by Kia on a Thursday night that featured a trio of blowouts.
Come on, man.
Around the NBA. Here's a little fun fact about the Houston Rockets. Last year, lost their 13th game on January 26th. It happened on December 6th this season, and it happened right here on TNT.
Right here.
Just moments ago.
Are we going to watch this again?
Of course. People
Ernie,
might just...
Go ahead, Kenny. Let me hear that music.
No, Kenny.
No, we're going to save that for the Phoenix
Okay,
game.
got it.
Kenny asked a great question at halftime.
I've never
Who's in
seen
more
it
trouble?
before.
But let's show this. Let's talk about the Rockets
This
after
is just
the
I
highlight.
don't know what the hell the ref calling this situation.
Gobert gets a foul here on the opening tip.
That should be a violation.
And then later...
That's not even a violation.
And later, a little shove to James Harden. He goes down, so that's a foul.
That's not a shove. That's a hard duck hit.
Gobert is...
Can't be slapping drinks off the table.
well, that's all kind of stuff flying
Yeah, I don't still
powder,
think they should have tossed him.
So he gets tossed.
I've never seen a guy get on the jump ball of the game start. He gets a foul.
Here's Joe Ingles.
Yeah, Mike.
So
Nice 3-pointer,
the
Mike.
best defensive player, or one of the best defensive players in the league, gone in the first quarter.
They didn't need
Would
him.
Houston be able
good
to
pass.
take advantage?
Well, I love Derek Favors tonight, being just a pro's pro.
Yep. Donovan Mitchell.
That might have been a travel.
No, it ain't.
So in a game in which
That's sauce.
a game in which Donovan Mitchell scores 6 points and Rudy Gobert gets ejected, you think, okay, this may be Houston's night, but it was far from that.
That's why you would say, Houston, we have a problem.
Oh, I've heard
Kenny,
that before. I
Kenny,
saw what
you asked who
saw
had
what
more
you did
trouble
there.
between the Spurs and the Rockets.
Right.
Me and Shaq both said the Spurs.
Right.
It might be the Rockets.
No,
You
I
said
said
the Rockets, you
I
said
said the
Spurs, and I
Rockets.
said Spurs. Well, let's go to the second half.
Cheat on my
Definitely
paper,
Rockets.
Ernie.
Little 19-0 run for the Jazz.
I mean,
Derek Favors gets the tip in, and
I'm
then
not even sure what the issue is.
Well,
Ain't nobody hustling.
Jay Crowder with
shout out to my man Stafford Steve. You
No,
are
hustle,
correct.
Kenny. You want to win some games?
True as that.
And Stafford Steve, my man Espen.
Look.
He was Scott Van Pelt.
Look, just drive right by.
good pass.
Drop it off.
Ooh, my goodness.
That's
one.
ED.
Let's do one more Derek Favors.
Oh my God.
good.
Gonna dunk it.
Oh,
Okay, young gun.
Sort of young gun.
Ernie, it's no excuse for the Rockets playing like they're playing. Now, I know they
agree,
lost
Chuck.
Luke, and I know they lost Trevor Ariza, and also the guy Ryan Anderson too.
He started the season with the.
But one thing about Ryan Anderson, you have to guard him.
Gotta
Man.
guard him.
Spread the floor.
Oh, you only got to guard him if he's hitting shots.
Well, but you can't. Wait, how you gonna know that if you're not guarding, fool?
How about
If you miss a couple shots, I ain't going out there.
Utah?
Like when I played you.
70 points in the paint in this one as they win 118-91.
Punished.
So we heard Reggie Miller talking during the telecast, and he said, "Look, this may not be a playoff team, the Houston Rockets.
No doubt.
Unless they do something." But again, it's relatively early, a quarter of the way into the season. Rockets are 11-13.
It's not early, Ernie.
But the number 8 and 9 teams tied for the last playoff spot are both 12-11. So it's not like they've fallen behind by 8 games right now.
But
they're still right there behind Sacramento and Dallas.
Yeah, but that's not the problem. The
Oh, I
problem
know there's definitely a problem.
No, but that's not the problem. You just look at the records. They're not better than those teams. That when you talk about who we chasing, like they're not a good team right now, but they're not much better. When they play those teams, those are toss-up games, and they're probably losses on the road. That's the problem they got.
Based off their success from Kenny, based off their success from last year, the expectations were still going to be high for this team. It seems to me they're not playing with much effort. We know they're not known for defense, but they're not playing any defense at all. And they're the type that when they're not hitting shots, they just said, you know what, we're just going to, run through the motions.
Yeah, I would say when you're chasing Minnesota, New Orleans, Utah, and then you have San Antonio on your heels, I would agree with Chuck that
They're not better than those teams. They're not
right now. They're not playing.
And let me say this
basketball.
about that. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Kenny. That trade was great for both teams. That Minnesota trade, it was great for the Sixers and it was great for Minnesota. It's not often trades work out good for both teams. The Sixers had to do something, and Covington and Sarek are good players,
without question. And so what you say is, well, what's missing from your team, and why aren't you winning? If you're the Rockets or anyone who's doing that, and you go, well, do we have that in our locker room to change it? And you go, no, because what the Rockets are mentioning, again, point, you just said how many points in the paint?
Oh, it was 70 to 42 tonight.
70 to 42 in the paint. Because then those are a lot of driving baskets, which Trevor Ariza, Abute would cover. Those guys cover the perimeter, and they can cover the three-point line. So then you put that with P.J. Tucker, you add that in, and all of a sudden you were a tough defensive team with two offensive players and that were pretty darn tough to handle in Chris Paul and James Harden. Now you're not that. And then when you throw Eric Gordon in and you could just kind of move him out and move it and take Chris Paul or Harden in, you don't have that luxury anymore because you're not tough enough on the perimeter to defend the three anymore.
And also,
then you're like the Rockets were 2-3 years ago.
And you factor in what guys like Ariza, Ryan Anderson, Luke Moabute, I think that's how you pronounce his name.
Moabute.
Ernie, the floor is shrinking on those guys. So they can cheat off those other guys. But also, Eric Gordon was in the conversation for the best sixth man. Now he's basically a starter. So you weaken your bench. And that's one of the things, you know, we talk about their bench is awful.
Yeah, dead last in bench points, and they were last year 7th in defensive rating, 25th this year.
Because they got rid of Lou Williams, and they had both Lou Williams and Eric Gordon.
Are they going to make the playoffs, Chuck?
I think Daryl Morey is too. I think they're going to make a trade.
Are they going to make the playoffs, yes or no?
Well, they're going to make right now. No, they're not going to make the playoffs the way they construct right now. But Daryl Morey is too good of a GM. He's going to do something. If I'm Daryl Morey, and I'm saying, okay, I got Chris and I got James and Capella.
Melo's available.
You know, and that's what we were saying. Is it his fault? Now we see
it's not.
No. It wasn't.
But listen, I'm gonna protect 3 players, and I got to make a trade because we can't win the way we're constructed.
Team that lost 17 games last year, best record in the NBA, has now lost 13. They are 11 and 13 as Utah goes to 13 and 13. All right.
Come on, man. We're making our move tonight, brother.
Phoenix.
We were down by 20.